So the United States has terminated thousands of life-saving grants globally, including for HIV, malaria and humanitarian aid projects. The PEPFAR, the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS-funded HIV organizations in places like South Africa, and other grants to hundreds of African and HIV groups providing life-saving services have also been terminated with immediate effect. This has sent shockwaves around the global health community. In January, President Donald Trump had announced an executive order to freeze all foreign aid for a 90-day pause to assess whether projects were consistent with his policy aims. Now, in the hours after the Trump administration announced that it was cutting some $60 billion in funding, termination letters arrived at NGOs across the world. The letters said that programs providing life-saving assistance against hunger and disease and performing other humanitarian work were being ended. The letters further said that the programs were being defunded for convenience and the interests of the U.S. government. The major United Nations health programs were amongst those to get the termination notice, including UNAIDS, the Stop TB Partnership, and Scaling Up Nutrition, as well as projects helping the displaced people. In South Africa, all 44 South African HIV programs through USAID have been terminated. South Africa has the highest burden of HIV in the world, with 8 million people living with the virus. It runs the biggest HIV program in the world, providing treatment to almost about 5.5 million people. An alliance of health groups said that the cuts are a crisis and people will die because of it. The head of the leading Desmond Tutu HIV Foundation, Linda Gale, has said that a halt in American funds to South Africa's HIV/AIDS programs could lead to more than 500,000 deaths over a span of 10 years. And our correspondent Calden Ongu has sent us this report from Johannesburg in South Africa. Let's take a look.
Hundreds and thousands of lives are at stake after the Trump administration pulled its plug on contracts of some 10,000 projects receiving USAID grants globally. In South Africa, health experts have expressed major concerns. A doctor from Anova Health Institute in South Africa, which delivers HIV services to hard-to-reach groups, said, "This is one of the worst days of a professional life." She added that on Friday, they have to let go of 2,800 people from their jobs who are mainly peer educators and data capturers. A person living with HIV expressed fear and questioned on what is going to happen to the treatment from here on and how is she going to survive. Some experts have said South Africa is still at a much better place as compared to many other African countries. South Africa derives only 17% of its HIV budget from PEPFAR, while the Democratic Republic of Congo gets 89% of its HIV budget from PEPFAR, and Mozambique and Tanzania get 60% of the HIV budget from the US. This is Calden Ongu from Johannesburg, South Africa for WION The World is One.